Intro the damn podcast already.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Triggercast. I'm one of your hosts, Reaper Wolf, alongside Forgetful Hitman.
Man,
How
y'all,
are you today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I actually was laughing, but making sure I didn't make any audible noise when you inhaled real fast for that.
It
I don't
takes a
know.
lot, man. You gotta build yourself up.
I just thought it was funny. Like I had a mental picture of you getting ready to blow up a balloon or something.
That's kind of what it feels like.
It was so funny. Oh, it helps if we get situated here. Like I literally just came through the door 5 minutes ago. Um,
Nice. Shows your dedication. So in that case, allow me to give you a nice easy topic to start off on. It's been like 72 hours since
ooh,
we gamed. What's been up?
I love your little thingies here. Never mind. Go ahead. We'll talk about them shortly. I just opened docs.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm seeing you now. I was gonna say, it's been like 72 hours since we gamed, since the last gameplay video for Sniper Elite 3 went up. Finally done with that game. One of the blandest games I have in my library right now. If anybody wants it, go ahead and let me know. I'll send it to you for free. Not really. Postage is expensive up here in Canada. But the
Yeah,
point
seriously,
remains.
Amazon won't let me ship to you, so that has to say something.
Well, there you go. The board exists for a reason. Ooh. Are we getting into... I feel like
News.
that was a trigger point.
What was? Oh, ha 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 ha! You insulted your
Started off
country.
fast.
Yeah. Oh, we have a comment on our previous video. Is that your girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, I pretty much figured that. I wanted to verify first because I was like, yeah, sure, we can, give you a trigger point, but it's like I wasn't sure. Like, should we retroactively give you that point or do it now?
I feel like we should probably keep a tally. So last one was like, what was it, 6-5 or something like that?
It's
I don't
called
know.
just scrolling
We'll
up
have to.
7 to 5.
7-5.
You just DM'd
So
me in
7-6.
Facebook and you couldn't just swipe up real fast.
I didn't think of it. I'm sorry. That was my bad.
That was funny.
So that brings the running count to 7 to
7 to
6.
6.
7 to
Yes.
7 actually, because I just got one
Yeah,
right
you
now.
did.
This is
Wait, no, it's 7 to 6 because you were 7 to 5 previously. Now you're 7 to 6.
oh jeez.
So hang on, no. You get a point for trying to give yourself an extra point by artificially inflating your count up, so you get 7 to 7. Just like Dan artificially inflating his subscriber count by making a YouTube account subscribing to himself.
How dare he?
That's an
That
automatic
is the
5 trigger
equivalent of
points.
buying friends.
So every time I see a subscriber count, I laugh because one of them isn't, a legit number.
This is riveting what we're talking about here.
I just feel like since he's gonna be on, I think he and I are recording next. I haven't
Oh, nice.
totally. Did we? You know how the schedule's gonna work and whatnot. It's just easier because he's free. 2 to 4. You're free like 7 to 9 ish
Yeah.
kind of areas. It's like obviously anybody who can do math can tell there's a 5 hour window where you two are just available and unavailable. So it's like, all right, we'll just have rotating hosts until like the miraculous Saturday comes up. We're all off, and it's like, we can record a podcast.
You think it'll happen?
It happens once in a blue moon with him, but you seem to be frequently free on Fridays. I mean Saturdays.
Well, I'm trying.
It just depends on him because they did Relay for Life last Saturday, him and his wife.
Oh, that's so
So
nice.
yeah, between full time job, full time school, and just volunteering like that, I mean, his schedule's pretty packed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
That's how
two
it
to
goes these days.
4, he's free just because that's he gets out of work at 1, gets home at 2, goes to school at night. So I mean, he's only got a few hour window.
Jeez.
Yeah. Anywho,
Anyway, what
just
have you been playing?
me. I was playing Batman Arkham Asylum. Sorry, Batman Return to Arkham Asylum yesterday. I was also playing I got back in Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I was gonna say Black
Wow,
Flag.
that was so close.
That's so racist.
Okay, we gotta move on from that one. We gotta move on.
Oh, so good.
Black
Anyways,
Flag. We can just say Assassin's Creed 4.
the Blacks are frags. Anywho,
Jeez.
because I still have that game for PS3, and I got the game on PS3. I bought 2 copies on Black Friday in 2013. One for me, one for my youngest brother, and I also bought Beyond Two Souls. So I have the old PS3 copy that came with the code for the PS4, because it was like one of the few games that did that. So I don't actually own it on PS4. I have the disc, and it's one of the few PS3s. Actually, the only PS3 disc I have that works with my PS4, and it makes me laugh. I was like,
Nice.
ah! So I was doing that. I got into that, and then you and your Vita comments. It wasn't on the podcast. It was us just talking outside of the podcast. I got back into my Vita, and I've been playing Dead Nation.
Oh, nice. Okay. Not a big fan of top-down shooters, but I can appreciate Dead Nation.
Dead Nation, what they were able to do for that game on the Vita is like quite impressive, because if you look at the PS3 copy and the Vita copy, I mean, it's like, there's visual downgrades in the Vita copy, but I mean, they're very close. And the frame rate is another difference, but other than that,
you and your frame rates, you PC piece of crap. Oh, do you see what I did there? PC piece of crap.
Yeah, well, let's see here. So we're what, 8-8 now in the trigger points?
Yeah, I think we're 8-8.
Actually, wait, you never took down that point, so it's actually 8-7.
Okay, fine. 8-7.
Yeah. Stop trying to artificially inflate your trigger points.
No, I'm good.
But yeah, so that's what I've been playing. What have you been playing? Oh, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, because they released a frame rate patch, and I'll have more on that later.
Nice. What about Rain World? Did you get around to that one?
No, because due to all the editing on my PC, for the videos and whatnot, I was primarily stuck on consoles and handhelds.
Yeah.
But I do really want to get into Rain World. It'll probably be I'm supposed to do another Star Wars trivia with friends this week. I'm not sure what day it's going down. If it's not tomorrow, I'll definitely play Rain World tomorrow, and we'll talk about it next podcast. Anyways, what have you been playing lately?
I honestly haven't been playing much. I've been watching my girlfriend play Andromeda.
You need to repeat all of that. You're cutting out.
Oh, damn it again.
Yep.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't been playing much myself, but I've been watching my girlfriend play Andromeda. That's pretty exciting. I actually just put up that.
Sorry. I was going to say, now, the video you posted of Andromeda, was that you or her playing?
That was me. That was me playing.
Sorry.
I'm spec'd as an infiltrator, and my girlfriend's spec'd as an engineer.
Please elaborate. I am not familiar with the series.
Oh, okay. So when you start your game, it's like any other RPG. It's like when you start Skyrim and you choose your different race, but in this case, it's just a class system. So in my case, I'm an infiltrator. I get perks that help my stealth gameplay, and she is an engineer that helps a lot of the tech type perks.
Okay.
That's about as broad strokes as I can explain it.
Oh, that's perfect. I just for our listeners like myself who are not familiar with the Mass Effect series, just a little elaboration.
Yeah. So I'm hoping actually. So I've been recording my gameplay as I go, but I haven't been posting it because I didn't want to spoil it for her. I don't care about everybody else. I just don't want to spoil it for her. So once she gets to a certain point, I'll be able to put up my video. And I kind of wanted to do like a 6-hour in review.
Ooh.
But yeah, I wanted to call it the Reaper Wolf review. But we'll see. That's up in the air right now. Don't hold your breath for those listening.
Yes, everybody
Anyway,
hold your breath. Let Marco be responsible for like 10 deaths.
10 asphyxiations.
Well, we held our breaths waiting for a review. It never came.
And that's how they died.
You heard it here, folks. Marco's gonna kill 10 people.
Oh god, I didn't say that. You said that.
In post
Anyway,
production, I can make it sound like you said anything.
that shit's scary.
Okay, so
Anyway,
do you want to open with the PSN update for the week, or do you want to talk about something else first?
sure, yeah, that'd be great. I actually have, so there's quite a bit I have up my sleeve for this one. And anyway, I'm just going to dive right into it. So this week's PS Plus lineup includes a title that I've been following for actually years. So the way that I got to know this title was because I was active on DeviantArt. I used to follow a ton of artists, and one of these artists that went by the name of Taishea, I guess, back in the day, they are now called dyemelikeasunset. I've actually reached out to them to see if we can shout them out in the podcast. Gave them a link to our Triggercast. I don't know how they're going to react to it, so we'll see. But you can look them up on DeviantArt. It's Dye Me Like a Sunset, and they originally posted about this game back in 2015, I think. The game's called Drawn to Death. It's directed by David Jaffe. You
I know
recognize the
him.
name?
Yes, the
We
guy
all know him.
the guy who enjoys little babies drowning in water for that what's that racing game? Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's him. Also God of War.
yeah,
So
but
very good director, very visceral sort of kind of games, and I love it. And I also like the visual art style that this Dye Me Like a Sunset had. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I followed this game, and now it's going to be released as a free title on PS4. I believe it's digital only, and it's basically a team multiplayer sort of game.
hmm.
And I wanted to mention that it was a really good time for it to come out because of all the hero competitive multiplayer games that we've been getting. This is a nice change to those like
True.
Pixar-looking heroes. These are so the idea behind this game is that it takes place inside of a high schooler's notebook, and you're playing basically within those pen drawings that that high schooler's making.
Oh, this image is sick.
Right? I'm glad you're looking at it
Oh
because
yeah, I'm definitely looking at while you're talking. Oh shoot, sorry.
so
I
if
should.
you guys got PlayStation Plus, you should definitely download this title, I think.
There we go. Since we're both on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah. Yeah, the characters are like kooky, exactly what you would expect. Exactly, pretty much the exact same stuff that I had in my notebook when I was in high school. It's the kind of stuff that I like to draw, so I
You
could
know,
very much connect with this game.
I love how it has like if you look at it, like really look at it, like I'm gonna get this photo in the podcast for the people that like to watch, just to look at this. The one we're looking at that we're about to talk about, not talk to. Yes, we talk to pictures. There's a
Yeah,
fucking
doesn't
thing.
everybody?
But I love how it looks really cool. Like it looks really cool.
I agree.
I
I agree.
I'm
It's very
very
visually
interested.
different from a lot of the stuff that we've been getting recently in games.
Yes. And I do agree with you on the whole Pixar type games, of like Overwatch, Battleborn, and whatnot.
Hmm.
Team Fortress 2, but they did that a long time ago, it was
Yeah, if
2007.
anything, they did it first in games.
Well, wouldn't you say technically like the old mascot games tried to back in the day, but couldn't quite visually do it due to the limitations because they were console mascots? Like
It's true.
Ratchet and Clank last year, holy shit! It looks like an
Yeah,
interactive Pixar movie.
yeah. It's exactly what they wanted to do back then, right?
Yeah, but they just couldn't fully realize their vision, which makes me really happy. The mascot era is kind of coming back in a way
Oh,
because
I've got something for this, and I'm so excited about it. I've been wanting to tell you for like the last week, but I saved it particularly for this podcast. But we'll get to that later. I just wanted to save your reaction, your actual reaction.
It looks awesome.
Anyway,
Bites
so
the
the rest
tail
of
of hero competitive multiplayer games. I love that.
So yeah, it's a really cool game. I highly suggest you guys check it out, especially since it's free. There's nothing to lose there. And if you don't like it, just delete it. And that's it. In fact,
The asterisk
fact.
The asterisk being,
What?
as long as you keep your PS Plus subscription, it's free.
Yeah, essentially. So the rest of the free PS Plus lineup is Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time for PS4. I don't know much about that game. I'll tell you straight up. PS3, it's Invisimals: The Lost Kingdom and Alien Rage Extended Cut. I think Alien Rage is a top-down shooter. Don't quote me on that, but
I have it,
yeah.
and it's a lot of fun. I have actually all three of them on PS3. They're fun.
Nice. Would you recommend, or?
If you're a fan of top-down shooters, hell yeah, because they're made by the same people that made Worms, Team 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm down for Team 17 stuff.
Yeah. Thought you'd like that.
And for PlayStation Vita, we've got 10 Second Ninja and Curses and Chaos.
Curses
the only one
and
that
Chaos. I love the name.
Yeah. That one's a weird one too. It's basically an RPG, but it paints you. I think I'm talking about the right game. I'm kind of scared to say this now, but I think it paints you as a like an old-timey medieval doctor, and you're walking. It's basically a side-scroller RPG, if that makes any sense.
Continue.
It's weird, man. It's
Dude.
like the Black Plague times.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like wow, World of Rain. Is that the one we were just talking about? But like pixelated.
Rain World, yeah.
Rain World, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. It looks like a pixelated version of that, but like the old timey like side scroll like that. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
And it's free on PS Vita.
I don't know.
I will be downloading it tomorrow. I was reaching for my Vita to go download it now, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's Monday night.
Yeah, you gotta wait just a bit longer.
Son of a bitch.
Anyway, and for games dropping this week on PlayStation Network, the only ones that I found interesting was, again, Drawn to Death, because it's awesome and you should check it out, and it's free. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, which I think ties into one of our points very well.
Yes.
And just because you mentioned it last week, I guess, Parappa the Rapper has been released, the remaster.
The 90s are back, baby.
They're coming back. So that's all I got for you guys this week. Go check out Drawn to Death. Check out Alien Rage if you like top-down shooters. And that's it.
That was cute.
No, thanks.
Okay. So, I guess I'll go with my first point. And we'll get to Bulletstorm later. We'll make the people wait. Since this year is the 30th anniversary of Metal Gear series as a whole, and what's funny is I was looking up to verify the date, because I knew it was 1987, but I was like, you know what? I don't know what, like, who came first. Back then obviously it's going to be Japan first, but, nowadays sometimes Japan might get the game after America, even though it was made in Japan.
Right.
And so I wanted to verify to make sure which was first and when, because I was like, okay, we're in April. I hope this isn't like, it was 2 months ago type of thing, like we're late to the party.
Yeah.
And so the funny thing is, the Wikipedia article for Metal Gear says July 13th. However, if you go to the disambiguation and then you get the whole series, it's July 7th. And I was like, okay, Wikipedia, which one is it? You're one is saying one, and another saying the other. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Google, help me out here. What is it? And I use Google Chrome on my phone. It's July 7th, 1987 in Japan.
Okay.
Okay. I don't care about anything else after that because Japan came out first. I was like, whatever. In North America, it could come out 3 years later. Doesn't matter. The 30th anniversary is this year.
So, Just to drive home the point, I follow a lot of David Hayter interviews. It's kind of creepy if you think about it, but I'm fairly sure that I'm fairly sure I actually have a picture with him, a signed picture.
Please tell me there's no cum on that picture.
That's just no guarantees. Don't bring a black light into my house though. Anyway,
we're talking about the game.
I remember him saying. I remember him saying in an interview that they were actually working on the script alongside the Japanese counterparts. So, you know how localization works, where they have to change some of the words in order to make it more colloquial to North Americans. So, if David Hayter said a line and he thought that it would be better in a different way, they would it's kind of like what is it, Lord of War. If he wanted to make it Warlord, he would have to tell the script director, and the script director would have to call someone in Japan to be like, this is what we want to change, this is what it means in English, and they had to approve it before it came back to the script director, and then it came back to David Hayter, and then they get the go-ahead of like, okay, you can go ahead and say it that way. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were both released simultaneously, if not within very, very close proximity to each other. Just based off the script reading.
But this is also back when it was just text-based. And what's funny as you bring that up is it was notorious back in the day because Japanese text uses up a lot less text. So it was very interesting because NES limitations back in the day. So like the Legend of Zelda, the second one, is notoriously bad for very vague general directions because, limitations, in the English translation. And it's just great you bring that up because that just got my mind go there. But anyways, it's July 7th, 1987 in Japan. And since, that was the first release, I'm going to go based on that. And I was like, all right, let's talk about our favorite moments because, it's the 30th anniversary. I'm very, this is kind of like our friendship right here because of Peace Walker. And
that's what I was going to say.
The hundreds of hours of us playing it.
Just hundreds of hours of being bantha fodder for you.
I wish we could have recorded video sooner and have all that. Yeah,
seriously.
But we don't, so you have to take our word for it. However,
basically, this is me bragging about us now. We're both pretty much like bona fide Metal Gear Solid historians. That's how much we've played these games.
You remember the Metal Gear history that was on the PS3 the same time Metal Gear Solid 4 came out?
Oh yeah, the database. I still have that installed on my PS3.
I loved reading that over and over and over again, like every entry and everything. It was just like I would just sit there and read the entire database just for shits and giggles, just to do it. Yep. I'm pretty sure I forgot most of it. It's been almost a decade, but whatever. Like I'm talking like word for word. I still know the general crap.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. I would get into arguments with my brother, and I'd be like, no, I'm fairly sure. I read that entire database. He'd be like, no, I don't think so. I think you're wrong. So we'd go back into the database, and sure enough, 9 times out of 10, I was right.
You know what's sad is the Metal Gear database is just like the Legend of Hyrule Historia. They're useless now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been so many changes. Don't get me. Well, I guess you can get me started about it because that's what we're talking about. So Forgetful Hitman, what is one of your favorite moments in Metal Gear?
Peace Walker aside, because we just talked about how much we enjoyed that. And I can't find a point in that game I don't like. It's so well done. I'll go back to it very, very quickly just because I want to make this point. Is my favorite point of that game is still when I got the PSP demo in December 2009, and just oh man, because you open with the cutscenes and whatnot, but once you get to actually playing the game and you just open on that beach and you just move, it blew my mind. Like, oh my god, we're doing this on a handheld,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit! And then you play, and then you keep going, and you grenade the fence, and you keep going. Miller's talking to you, Snake's talking, and I'm like, this is a total 180 from Portable Ops, Holy shit!
Yeah.
And still playing, and then you go deal with the little guys there, and then the demo ends. All right. And then once you keep playing that, when you have the main game, and then it has, what's that guy's name? Ashley something, who did the artwork, the comic book style.
Oh.
It's Ashley something. I just remember that.
Oh, that's gonna bug me. Hold on. Let me
And
look at on this.
but I love how it opened. You know, the whole nuclear arsenal going through blah blah blah, and it just opens like that. And I'm just like It's just a moment in that game I just love for various reasons. Thank you,
I
PSG.
remember you ranting and raving about it, and it was an immediate like, yeah, sure, like no question, I'm buying this game. And sure enough, like 10
You
days later,
didn't
I
buy
had
it.
it.
That's the funny thing. I gave
I
you
did.
my No, I gave you my download code over over Facebook when you used to be able to.
Oh yeah, you're right. You got me. It's Ashley Wood, Australian comic book artist.
Ashley Wood.
Ashley Wood.
Okay, I knew it was Ashley. I just couldn't remember Wood. Sorry, Ashley. I
Nah.
remember your name based on Ashley because well, I'm sorry. Ashley is a woman's name, not a man's name. I'm sorry. Gotta say it.
Trigger point. I can't just omit that. That was definitely a trigger point.
Duh, that was the point.
Oh, well, okay then.
It is the
Well, then we're good.
Triggercast. But yeah, that's enough about Peace Walker. Now to get to your question, I love how it said -7. You missed the
My
point.
bad.
It's actually 11-7. All you have to do is scroll up. It was 10-7. Now it's 11-7. Come on,
Got it. I got it.
get your shit together. Anyways, okay, yes, we were laughing because Marco made it 1-7 instead of 11-7. The video cut out, so I had to restart and upload. No, you're fine. It was great. I knew this was coming up too. Okay, 8:01. So we hit 8:30. I've got to cut you or myself off if we're still talking. Okay, now to get back to your question, because I've been long-winded about this. I'm sorry. I'm very passionate about this. I'm gonna take an easy route here, just because I know you can relate, but it's gonna be long-winded. Is a big favorite moment of mine is the entire fourth act of Metal Gear Solid 4. You know, that whole
Oh yeah.
coming full circle. You know, because Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid starts on Shadow Moses. Metal Gear Solid 4 doesn't end on Shadow Moses, but I mean, it gets close. You know, and
The beginning of the end
yes,
is in Shadow Moses.
and oh. And I just love it because you remember Metal Gear Solid 3 where Snake, after being tortured, has that dream and he plays that weird mini game. Well, you as the player play that weird mini game. I love the fact that
It should have been a full game.
yes, it was so weird. It was like anyways, and then you play the little bit of Metal Gear Solid 1 until you get to sneak in and whatnot, blah blah blah, or just quit and whatnot. And then I love you wake up and then you're like, what the hell? I just had a nightmare, or deja vu, or whatever. And it's kind of both, And then Otacon drops you off, and then you sneak in, you get to the base, and then I just love the best is yet to come starts playing when you get close to the base, and then it's just all these flashbacks to conversations while you're in that section and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it feels so perfect because the funny thing is you're no longer in your prime. You're like this is old geezer that's come back. Your best days have actually came and went. So to have the best is yet to come play again, it's like really eerie and great, And then you're going through and you're just playing that whole level, and then you finally get to Crying Wolf. And this is another reason why Crying Wolf is my favorite boss battle, probably in the entire series, because when you fight the end in Metal Gear Solid 3, which is another fun moment, it's bright, it's lit up, of course, unless it's nighttime. But I seem to usually hit him during the day when I play.
Yeah, same here.
So that's why I'm going the bright route. But it's bright, but it's also dense. There's a lot of trees. It's hard to see the end. You have unless you're spamming the thermal goggles and whatnot. If you found them, and but for the most part, you can see, but all the trees kind of obstruct you. So that's one way of dealing it. I like dealing with Crying Wolf because it's always nighttime. It's always a snowstorm kind of thing, but it's big, clear, open field. So the only visual distraction is, besides the enemies that are roaming around, is you can't really see because it's nighttime. And it's just this big open field. So you're thinking, oh, I should be able to see her all the way down the field. No, unless you spam the thermal goggles or whatever.
Yeah,
So
such an intense boss fight.
yes, and Sniper Wolf kind of comes up there too because it's like another, but it wasn't as big as in the PS1 and whatnot. But I'll just throw that in there as like
Yeah,
kind of the same.
I feel like the end in Crying Wolf would have never happened if Sniper Wolf hadn't resonated so much with PlayStation 1 players.
Yeah,
And there's a there's a big big percentage of people out there that when you ask them what is the most intense boss fight that you ever had on the PlayStation 1, they'll go right back to Sniper Wolf and be like, that was the first time I felt that much intensity in a boss fight on a PlayStation 1.
yeah, and that game came out what 1998 on the PS1.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't remember what month, so I was either 8 or 9 because I was born in '89, and you're '91, so you were younger. So I mean,
Well, I didn't even get to play it till later on. So
oh,
what
okay,
ended up happening is I traded Mortal Kombat 4 to get Metal Gear Solid 1.
that's a fair trade on your end.
Yeah, right? I kept it for, I don't know, a better part of a month. Got pretty much almost all the way to the end. I was fighting Rex. I remember, and I couldn't pass it because I was so young, and I didn't really like grasp how I was supposed to beat this thing. I got frustrated with it, and I traded it back. So I got Mortal Kombat 4 back, and left Metal Gear Solid. Um, it was actually one of my dad's work friends who I took it from, and I returned it. And I didn't know back then, but it was one of the biggest mistakes I made in my life because I didn't get to actually finish that game till like I don't know 4 years ago.
That is a trigger point.
Yeah, for sure.
That is a trigger
I'm
point.
kind of crying over here.
That's a trigger point. There's no denying it. 11-8, motherfucker.
11-8.
Okay, so now that I've kind of, and also the whole Rex versus Ray part, we can't leave that out. Anyways, what is your favorite moment in Metal Gear Solid, or a fond moment, if you can't think of a favorite moment?
So
Because
I
there's two you went.
actually there were so many that I was thinking about. I was also right there with you when you brought up the Act 4, The Best Is Yet to Come. I remember playing through that the first time and I got chills. I was like, "Oh man, this is going back to the beginning. The best is yet to come, but you're like dying the entire game and you're so much closer to dying at that point than you were." So, I was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
I'm not a very emotional person, but I was there with that scene. But favorite game moment?
or just like a fond, if you can't think of like if one doesn't stand out as like the cream of the crop.
So cream of the crop for me would have to be
I
what?
just
What I
thought that
miss?
was funny. That was funny. You said cream of the crop. You ran with it.
Oh, yeah. Why not? It's
I
a
thought it was great.
Triggercast, man. Everything goes.
Boobies.
So it was when Olga got shot in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Okay.
That fucking way, there's
Hang on, you cut out. You said that fucking, and then like my headset audio blocked you or something because the internet cut out.
oh, so it's censoring me?
I don't know. I think it was just a hiccup in the internet.
So Olga was this character that you got to see in the tanker level, and it was like the very first cutscene. She was right there, right? So you're already like, who's this character, and why is she here if she's only the colonel's daughter? And that you get to see a bit of her struggle when she's on the phone in that first boss fight, and she's like fighting for control of her own men, and then in the big shell she becomes pretty much Gray Fox or Deep Throat, Mr. X, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
And then like her struggle from beginning to end, like that she has a child that the Patriots have, and all of a sudden Solidus just grabs her and shoots her, and you're like, what are you doing? You don't just kill a character like that. I know that character. I was trying to help her. So that was a super intense moment for me, and that moment will probably resonate with me for a very long time. Outside of that, the first battle with Gray Fox, super intense on PS1, especially if you're like 10 years old and have no idea what's going on. Freaking hectic.
Oh, that was great. Oh well.
So that was one of my most fond moments of Metal Gear, of the many years of Metal Gear.
Since you bring up Metal Gear Solid 2, I'll make another point because I know Metal Gear Solid 2 is like the low point of the series with Raiden, blah blah blah. I feel like that's such an easy target, you know,
Yeah.
even though he's such a terrible character. Like every moment he shows up in 4, I'm like, oh no, please. I want to keep playing as Snake. Do not do this. Until you beat the game, Raiden never takes over and whatnot. But a point I really enjoyed in Metal Gear Solid 2 was when you find out you have not been talking to the Colonel. It's been GW the whole time.
Yeah. Plot
It's like,
twist. The plot twist, all plot twists.
yes, the machines are sentient.
Like, oh. And, well,
Skynet.
so, just say, yeah, seriously. But I remember the way they explained it, and they're like, why has he been telling me to save the president this entire time? And they're like, oh, it's your own subconscious. They're just feeding it back to you. And you're like, what? What?
Another good point. I'm sorry, not a good point. Another good moment in that game, and I just really wish you played as Snake even more because it's like just to be able to play as Snake. When you're being framed, even though you do get to play as him in the tanker, but when you're being framed and Solidus is pretending to be Solid Snake, I feel
Yeah.
like playing as Snake would have been so much more, emotionally rewarding for the player because you're like, oh no, Snake didn't do that, So you're playing as Snake
Yeah.
trying to clear his name, like you the player, not you the player playing as whiny crybaby, like fuck
Yeah,
you,
I feel like there would have been more, it would have been more intense
Yeah, there would
to
have been
play
a
through that.
more emotional resonance with the player,
I agree. Um, but I can see where Hideo Kojima's coming from. In an interview, he said that in the second Metal Gear Solid, he wanted to make Snake be that legend, like become that legend, and you wouldn't get that effect if you were playing as him because basically everything that he's doing, you're doing. Like Snake isn't the legend, I am. I'm just
Mm,
playing as a legend.
yeah.
So he said that it's easier to appreciate something like that from a different point of view, from maybe someone that's never been on the field before, maybe someone that doesn't have the nerves of steel that Snake does, and I can see where he's coming from artistically.
Yeah.
Gameplay wise, God, it was annoying to play as Raiden.
Raiden sucks. Oh. And he's also a douchebag. He gets you pregnant and takes off. Confirmed douche.
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't care if you saved
Should be a
Olga's daughter.
Maury.
I don't care if you saved Olga's daughter from Area 51 when Snake was starting to degenerate. I don't care. You're irredeemable.
Bonafide douche.
Yes,
Anyway,
certifiable. So another
I
moment
have.
for you.
Oh man. I'd have to say so. The chase sequence in Metal Gear Solid 3 got my blood pumping like no other game had before.
Is that the one where
God of War
Eva
was
and
close.
Snake?
Yeah,
Okay.
where you're Snake and you're in the sidecar. BT dubs. No one can ever claim that Hideo Kojima is a sexist because Eva was fucking badass in that game. She was the one driving Snake around.
Yeah, but she
Just
also had
throwing
her
that out
tits
there.
flying around, so you're never gonna win that one.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It is Hideo Kojima, after all. He designed an entire character just to get people to cosplay as them. So
With
there's
big
that.
boobies and hanging out.
Anyway,
Awkward silence.
the other one, the final scene in Metal Gear Solid 4, where we all thought, maybe not all of us, maybe some of us were smarter than others, but I definitely thought that Snake had shot himself.
I did too. I totally thought he offed himself. I was like, I was an emotional wreck. I was like, what? What just fucking happened? And then it shows Big Boss and then this voice, the name, and I'm like, wait, he was never in the game. And then you hear the voice like, oh my god, what just happened? Like literally, I was on the edge of my seat emotionally and physically. I was like a wreck. And then that Richard Doyle, sorry, there you go. And then that scene plays
Richard
out,
Doyle, yeah.
and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? No, no more boss battles. What's going on? You know, like, oh god, I have to fight Snake as Snake. I don't want to do this. I love Big Boss. No, don't make me do it. Or he
Yeah,
plays
I
Big
definitely had
Boss
that moment
exterminating
where,
Solid Snake.
oh man, that would have been the biggest plot twist.
Yes. I love
No, but I definitely had that moment where, like, you hear the gunshot, and I was, like, 3 feet away from my TV, mouth agape, not breathing at all, hoping that something happened. What the hell was that?
Was that your reaction, or what the hell was that? As to what the hell was that?
I don't know, there was a huge click on my end.
Oh, I
I
might
guess
have actually hit my headset.
That was scary.
I didn't hit my headset though. I just thought I did. I don't know what happened.
Oh, it was loud.
Well, the good thing is it won't show up on the video because your audio only shows up when you talk, not when you hear things.
Oh, perfect. Anyway, that was my final moment. And I hate to be that guy, but I swear we could sit here all night talking about our favorite moments in Metal Gear.
Yeah, I was about to say let's transition from this because it has been
Yeah,
a good solid 25 minutes, maybe 20.
Sure. Hey man, 30 minutes for 30th anniversary.
But I want to make one more point since we were just on it. Is when Big Boss was holding the Patriot, I was like, oh. I was like,
Yeah.
that's when I was also freaking out. Like, okay, Solid just has the 9mm. Big Boss is the Patriot. If we're about to fight, we're fucked. We're outgunned. Okay, but that's all I wanted to say.
Infinity to 1.
Yeah. I love that you're highlighting these as we go.
Yeah, that means we're done with them.
Yes, I love it.
So, I guess we probably should have started off with this, but our Ask FM is finally up. So, we are live on Ask FM. If you want to ask us questions that we answer here on the podcast, you go to ask.fm / is that it? Yeah. / Triggercast, all one word. That's Triggercast. That's
Even
if you
though
have
we're
an
known
Ask
as
FM.
the Triggercast.
Oh no! Yeah,
Marco forgot the word the.
Don't we all? Like,
but not on
what
the
is
Ask
the?
FM. I don't know. I don't know why things sound better like Triggercast. The Triggercast, you know? I don't know why adding the makes it sound right.
Feels like it has more authority.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not a banana. It's the banana.
Yeah, it's the go-to.
Anyway, so our ask.fm is up. If you want to ask us anonymous questions and you already have an Ask FM. If not, you can ask us questions down in the comments and we will address them as soon as we can. And by as soon as we can, I mean the next podcast.
Well, hang on. We have to specify this even further. If you ask Marco a Marco-related question, Marco will answer that in the podcast he's in. If it's Dan-related podcast, it will be the podcast Dan is in. We have to clarify that.
That's right, because we are rotating hosts.
Yes. And hopefully Dan and I can record Thursday or Friday, so that one might be up Saturday or Sunday. This one should be up by Wednesday.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm not using a bunch of puppy photos this time. That took too long.
But I like the puppy.
So did I, but I don't. At this point, like I'd have to go through a folder, figure out which ones I use and not use. It would take too much time.
That's too much.
It was cute the first time. Okay, so it's my turn again, I guess.
Indeed.
And I have the long existential kind of debate type of points to make today. Hang on, I got one. I have an easy one. We can just quickly bounce off me. So did you hear Mad Catz is gone? They filed for bankruptcy and they're done.
No, not Mad Catz. My first, actually no, that's not true because the PlayStation 2 came with a memory card. But my second memory card was a Mad Catz memory card.
Yeah, they filed for it's Chapter 11. Yes, Chapter 11. They can't. Their entire infrastructure is being sold off. Like they're done. They're not coming back. It's not the
Okay.
liquid. I don't. It's not. See, I'm not quite familiar with the bankruptcy rules, so when I read this, I was confused. But
Mm.
it's definitely the one where they're not coming back from this. That's basically what it dumbed it down to. So if
Right.
it's Chapter 7, I'm sorry. If it's Chapter 11, I'm sorry. I don't know which one it is for businesses. Basically, they're not coming back from this. They're done. They're
Dang.
THQ done. Like before a company bought the name and made themselves THQ.
Like 979 Studios gone?
Hopefully not. You know. Yeah, I was about to say Shiny, but that's actually a horrible thing to say because Shiny was a terrible company. Terrible, terrible company.
They needed to go, but it's
Mad
okay.
Catz was okay. Mad Catz was cool.
Yeah.
Mad Catz made some very innovative things on controllers before. You know how like my friend Dan, he has a GameCube controller. If it's not Mad Catz, I'm sorry, Mad Catz, blah blah blah. But if it is Mad Catz, I think it's Mad Catz. But it had it connected via a little dongle, before
Yep.
the PS3 and Xbox 360 started doing this. So I felt Mad Catz kind of paved the way, like the trial and error type of thing. And then here comes the big console people. Here we're doing this now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like what Apple
Yeah.
does to
Totally.
Android now. Android does all the figuring things out, blah blah blah. Oh, Apple comes out 2 years later. Hey, we're doing this. Well, Android did it 2 years ago. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's a
Like,
trigger.
well, ours is waterproof. Oh.
Because our Apple
Man,
fans are gonna be.
you're getting good at this. I'm not
I'm
even.
just talking naturally.
See, that's the problem. I'm so used to this. I'm not triggered by a lot of the stuff that you say anymore. There is some, I'll admit, but not the regular stuff.
Regular
It's
show.
sad that I call that regular.
So it is
Gets it?
officially your turn.
Okay. Um. Oh, there's so much power here. Where do I want to go with this? No, I'm kidding. Um, what I wanted to bring up was, are you a fan of Telltale? Is anybody a fan of Telltale out there?
I like Telltale games. I just don't like their engine is terrible. It's
Yeah,
god
okay,
awful.
fine.
But I love the stories they tell. They tell stories very good. I am dying for them to do a James Bond game because I totally agree with them. James Bond lately has become this murder machine when James Bond is more kills one or two and is just ready to quit type of James Bond. Like Timothy Dalton played it, but with a lot less killing.
Hmm.
That's why I would love to see what they could do with it. But I have played their Jurassic Park game for a little bit. I did play Sam and Max, great series. Um, I played. I did not play Telltale's Batman because of the complaints of the engine. So
Hmm.
I'm just waiting for the price to go down on that. That's gonna be a $5 purchase for me. Well, you know how I go with this. I want a smooth experience. I don't want to have to R&D a problem for a game that I shouldn't have to.
That's
Because on
fair.
PC you can edit the INI files and whatnot and do things to make the game maybe play better. So if I have to do that, like the original Borderlands is capped to 62 frames per second on PC, so you have to get a launcher and everything to fix that and the FOV, and I'm like, that's a point off if I was to review this game.
Hmm. I
That's kind of
see.
how I go. But please continue with the Telltale thing. I'm sorry for taking too long. Don't hurt me.
So, according to Riley McLeod from Kotaku, the official, and I think this has been confirmed since then. Correct me if I'm wrong. April 18th, we're gonna get Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 1 called "Tangled Up in Blue." Really excited for this. This has been uh, it's been on the board for a while. I think they announced it like a year ago, maybe.
Yeah, they
Maybe
announced it a
less.
while ago.
It was leaked, I think. And then they scrambled to be like, no, what are you guys talking about? Pull the curtain back over. Pull the curtain back over. But so on April 19th, sorry, 18th, it's coming to consoles, computer, and mobile, which I was really excited about. And
Mobile?
what I found, yeah, yeah. Exciting, isn't it?
Well, if the
I don't know if
engine
that's
works.
iOS. I'm gonna. I'm hoping that they tweaked it a bit since the Batman series, or I guess the Walking Dead series. It's the latest one. I don't know.
Well,
One
the
of those.
engine's been bad since, oh god, Jurassic Park 6 years ago, almost six. It's still five. It just
Hmm.
the engine needs work. It needs work under the hood. It's well beyond its shelf life. But that's enough of the engine. I'm sorry.
So what I found most interesting about this is that there's some serious, hardcore voice actors behind this.
Ella North.
Nolan North
I
strikes
cheated.
again as
I
Rocket
saw
Raccoon. Fucking cheater.
Nolan
Eh.
North. You remember when Nolan North used to be like in everything before Troy Barker and is it Baker or Barker? Troy Baker, whatever.
I think it's Baker.
Yeah, before he became the new shit. Remember when it
Yeah.
was like every game had Nolan North, whether it made sense or not, like Prince of Persia. I'm sorry, the Prince of Persia is American?
Yeah, of course. They're all Americanized. It's
But no.
probably the same reason he had an English accent at one point.
But I just thought it was hilarious. It's just he even said in an interview that's one of his biggest regrets was using his natural voice playing the Prince of Persia. It's like maybe I should have tried a
Uh,
different voice. I was like,
ooh.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Nolan North strikes again as Rocket Raccoon, because I guess that makes the most sense. Now, they're reusing talent a little here, but I kind of agree with their choice. I agree with it a lot, actually. So Scott Porter is going to be playing Star-Lord. And so first of all, the character model looks like it's heavily influenced by either Handsome Jack or Reese from the Borderlands Telltale game. Very similar. Uh, this guy also played Luke in The Walking Dead Season 2. He voices Ben Reilly and Scarlet Spider in the Ultimate Spider-Man TV series. I don't know if you watched that. I did.
I've
It was pretty good.
seen an episode or two. The game was awesome.
The game was awesome. Yeah. Doesn't get enough credit, I think, but
No, it feels like the Spider-Man 2 sequel we should have always gotten. I'll go that
yeah.
far. I'll go that far. Spider-Man 3 was garbage. The video game. It was like, how dare you? Spider-Man 2 was awesome. But that to me, Ultimate Spider-Man represent. I even threw
Agreed.
my fist up and everything.
Damn. You must
Yeah.
be excited over there.
Um, uh, sure.
You might be excited for this next one. He was in Arkham Knight. He was the voice of Dick Grayson / Nightwing.
So the character you see for maybe what 10 minutes total, unless
I
you're playing
guess,
as him
yeah.
in the DLC. Come on, it's the
Yeah.
Batman show on those games. I mean, Robin shows up for a second in Arkham City, and Robin and Nightwing show up for like nothing. Now, if he was Tim Drake, he shows up in the DLC with Batgirl, and that DLC was awesome
Well, there you have it.
because you get to play as Batgirl.
So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that they were going to have Nolan North and Scott Porter both being like the two main characters, Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord. But I found this one very interesting as well. So Groot, we all know, the only thing he can say is, I am Groot.
That is eerie.
That was horrible. So he can only say, I am Groot. And the person voicing Groot is Adam Harrington, which I'll admit I've never heard of before. But I looked this guy up, and holy shit, does he have a pedigree in video games. He's done. And this is just like a sneak peek at what he's done. He's got like a laundry list of characters. So the Godfather games, he was
Oh.
Johnny Trapani and several others. He's in League of Legends as Karthus. I'm not even going to try to Mordekaiser and Rise.
Mordekaiser?
Mordekaiser. I don't know. One of those. I don't play
No,
those
I was
video
saying it's
games.
like Mordekaiser, like instead of saying duh. I don't know. That's my take.
Yeah, I don't know. One of those.
Uh,
He's also in Assassin's Creed, Bloodlines, and Discovery. Star Trek Online as Madred, Rugan Skill, Kar Ukan. He was in The Amazing Spider-Man as well, the game. Tales from the Borderlands, he was Kroger and the Captain. And Mafia 3, where he was several voices.
he strikes me as one of those guys that gets called they're not the like headliner for the game. They're like, we need you to fill like a bajillion roles kind of guy, which is not knocking him at all. No, not whatsoever. And puts food on the table. I mean, gets him work. He just strikes me as like a very flexible voice actor.
That's what I was gonna say, and I find it interesting because if you only have one line to bring life to this entire character, you can only say "I am Groot" in so many different ways, right? But they called this guy, I feel, because he has so many voice acting jobs that he's done well in the past. So now it's like, bring life to this character.
Can we get Vin
That
Diesel
can
without
only
the
say
price
one word.
tag?
Probably.
That's
Get
probably what they
suit
were
up the
going
gas.
for. But no, I mean it a lot of like. Are you familiar with The Lion King and the Scar when Scar is singing? It's not Jeremy Irons. It's a sound
Oh yeah,
alike. It's very
yeah.
common in the industry. Like I'm wondering if maybe they're going that route, but like Vin Diesel probably made for like I am Groot was like we're not paying you $100,000 just to say I am Groot, and
Hmm.
that's what I'm thinking.
It's true. It's a possibility. I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thought process for me.
Yep, I hear you.
All right. Okay, so since we talked about Bulletstorm earlier, we'll go to this point now. So Borderlands came out in 2009, and Borderlands 2 came out in 2012, and Borderlands 3 came out in 2014. And
Hmm.
we've been waiting for Borderlands 3 for a while, and they trademarked Border Worlds in 2012. So a lot of people thought, and I say 2012 is like I think it was 2012, and a lot of people were thinking, okay, is the next Borderlands game going to be an online MMO type of thing?
Yeah.
And well, who knows? Because who knows? Who knows if that's ever going to happen because of recent things that have happened with Gearbox. I don't know if they can even go that route financially or are even willing to because of
Hmm.
several things that have happened in the past. How familiar are you with the controversy surrounding Gearbox in terms of Sega, Alien Colonial Marines, um, excuse me, Battleborn, Bulletstorm. How familiar are you with the controversy surrounding Gearbox and their less than
So,
favorable? Oh, and Duke Nukem Forever. Sorry.
so I'll admit that I was not very familiar with them, but since I cheated, I saw this point, and I was like, huh, let's read up on this. So I did, and I am now very familiar with
Okay.
what's going on over there at Gearbox.
Yeah. So we'll start before Borderlands 2. You know how in 2006 Alien Colonial Marines was unveiled, the second iteration, because there was supposed to be one with Fox in 2001, but that game got canceled.
Hmm.
So the game lay dormant. Well, that property, the name.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so in 2006, the game was unveiled and whatnot, and then Borderlands gets announced to come out in 2008. And it's like, all right, that's odd. You're already developing one game. Usually, a studio only really focuses on one game at a time publicly.
Usually. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
especially smaller studios, because even though Gearbox had done Brothers in Arms at that point, they're not really a big third-party studio. They weren't at the time.
Yep.
And mind you,
I
a
agree.
Brothers in Arms game also came out in 2008. So this is where it gets really weird. Um,
Mm.
so you had Alien Colonial Marines announced in 2006. You were working. You had Gearbox announced. I'm sorry, Gearbox was announced. Borderlands was announced, and Brothers in Arms
Mm.
is coming out around the corner. A smallish studio taking three AAA third-party games. That's a little weird, right?
Yep.
And
I agree.
and you know, and there's a report that Sega caught wind, and this is why the game was Alien Colonial Marines was originally canceled in 2008, and why there was layoffs at Gearbox was that Gearbox was funneling funds from their milestone checks from Alien Colonial Marines to Borderlands. There was that whole
Hmm.
controversy. All right, so that puts Alien Colonial Marines on the back burner because it was canceled in 2008. Well, Brother in Arms, whatever it was called, came out in 2008. I can't remember the title of it. Hell's Highway or something. No,
Highway to
Road
Hell,
to
I think it was. Or
Highway to
Hell's
Hell
Highway.
or Road to 40 or whatever the title was. There was a Brothers in Arms game that came out in 2008. I think you're looking it up because I hear your fingers on keys.
How
And
did you know?
I heard your fingers. But anyways, so then Borderlands came out in 2009. Okay, it's 2009. We're 3 years later. There is still no sign of Alien Colonial Marines. What happened? Well, like I said, but at the time it wasn't aware to us. The
Mhm.
gamer. What was going on. I mean, it might have been if you were like a watchdog or a hound, like Dan on the Diablo 3 forums for years waiting for that game to come out. Yes, calling you out, Dan. Oh, God,
Oh, he's not even here to defend himself.
that was the best part. I bet that's
So
a trigger
it
point.
is Hell's Highway,
Hell's Highway. Okay. And
and I agree. That is definitely a trigger point. Attacking a man while he's not here.
oh, don't worry. He
Jesus.
he and I have had that chat multiple times, and this chat we're
Okay,
having
well,
on the podcast. So he's very familiar with this chat. Okay.
you're not weaseling your way out of that trigger point.
No, I,
Just
I
drop
want
it.
the trigger point, but there's backstory to that. I felt like telling the backstory. Anyways, back to Borderlands. So Borderlands comes out in 2009. Okay. 2010, you get wind that Gearbox has acquired the rights to finish Duke Nukem Forever. Okay, at the time it was still like, okay, where's Alien Colonial Marines? But Gearbox keeps doing these other games. So then Duke Nukem Forever comes out, and that was just a steaming pile of garbage, which is hilarious. I'm sorry, it's a steaming pile of shit and garbage, and you get to play with shit in the game. That's the ironic part.
Hmm.
Anyways, bad game. So then, this is when the whole Alien Colonial Marine controversy was starting to become public again, in between Duke Nukem Forever and Borderlands 2. Because Borderlands 2 got
Mm-hmm.
unveiled around March or April, May area. It was like joy puking or whatever. I remember the trailer; it was pretty funny. Joy puke or whatever. Okay, so then here comes Borderlands 2. At this point, it's really well known that Alien Colonial Marines is coming out. It was coming out in early 2013. Okay, so we had already had that in 2011 we had the Alien Colonial Marines E3 trailer. The one that looked awesome. Oh hey, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Alien Colonial Marines is going to look like. It's like, whoa, what happened? It's back on the map and whatnot. Borderlands 2,
Mm-hmm.
2 Borderlands 2 comes out. Oh, and another reason why we didn't get Alien Colonial Marines until 2013 was Alien vs Predator came out in 2010 and Sega had publicly come out. I think it was 2009 or 10. Sorry, my timelines are all over the place. I'm remembering this as I'm going. Um, Sega had come out and said Alien vs Predator is coming out from Rebellion first in 2010, then Alien Colonial Marines. Okay, so Alien Colonial Marines is coming out. Alien Colonial Marines comes out. Alien Colonial Marines is a pile of shit. Like, what happened? And then that's when the controversy comes out that, oh, I forgot the name of the studio, and they're out of business now anyways because of this, I think. Timegate. I think that's the name of the studio. Um, and
Never even heard of them.
they did the PsyOps themes, I think. Dan would
Okay.
know. Dan was a fan. He would know.
Dan, where are you, Dan?
He's probably jacking off. Anyways, um, so it
It's
was
the
starting to come
trigger.
out because like the game was a pile of shit. People wanted to know what happened. This isn't what we were shown, and it was starting to come out that Gearbox may have not have developed this game. And it was coming out
Mm.
that another studio, and that studio was like, well, we had to play the game to know how much of that game we developed first, because then it was. So now this is controversy. Then the lawsuit happens, and then whatnot, and well, there's that. This lawsuit comes out saying, false advertising, this isn't what we were promised, blah, 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 steaming pile of shit. And that
Yep.
goes on. Eventually, the class action lawsuit dies, but, the damage is done. In my mind, what we were shown, it's like, okay, Gearbox, you knew better, and just reading all this and finding all this out. And then Randy Pitchford's adamant that nothing went wrong, and, we're statists and whatnot. And it's like, great. That's a great PR move, Gray. Call us all statists.
Yeah. I remember I was actually pretty excited for Colonial Marines.
Yeah,
And
with
but I didn't
sorry, go ahead. I had a cough.
have any I wasn't ready to take on a new game at that time. I don't remember which game I was playing at that time, but I just remember I couldn't buy it because it was too much of a time investment or something like that. Anyway, but then I saw the reviews and like all the little bugs that it had, like the logic bugs where the aliens would run into a corner and just like stay there because they would have no idea what to do next. It was weird. It was weird to watch. I was like, I'll wait, see if they put out any patches or fix it up somehow.
Oh, the
And that
immense
never
amount of
happened.
patches. Oh, the game got a lot of patches, just not the AI.
Yeah, and that's what I was looking for. I was like, if these guys aren't gonna handle like aliens, then what am I getting into?
Yeah.
Might as well just go play Borderlands 2, and I did, and it
And
was awesome.
And that's the funny thing. This is where my point's going. I meant to also mention Borderlands 2. So, and you also know, this all is connected. It's like an overarching theme relating to Gearbox now. So bear with me, people. I'm getting there. It's just really long-winded. There's a lot. Gearbox is so full of shit these days, in terms of literal and figurative, that it takes some time to go over. Now, Borderlands 2, and this is where Gearbox is really annoying, is Borderlands 2 is awesome. It's a big game. It's a lot of fun. It has your typical DLCs. It has your season pass. Cool, whatever, Fuck it, The typical garbage, and, well, there's a trophy for level 50 capped out for now. I remember this word for word because it annoys me to living hell to this day how Gearbox handled this. Is the level cap is, well, at the time was 50. The trophy or achievement, depending on what platform, capped out for now. That implies there's a level cap increase coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gearbox kept saying over and over, oh, we're having problems, we're melting Xbox 360s, oh, we can't figure out how to blah, blah, blah this. And it's like, thanks, okay. You couldn't figure it out first, oh, hang on, how do we go above our preset level count,
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, we're also debating how to do this. Do we give it out for free or do we, charge it? Well, they ended up charging it, but if you had the season pass, you were fine. Fuck off, Gearbox. I don't like having to pay for a level cap increase, like when they did with Borderlands 1, but they redeemed themselves in the end because it became a free patch, to get to 69, regardless if you had DLC or not.
What about the people that did pay for it?
Well, as a part
now, all of a sudden,
in Borderlands 1, it was a part of the general Nox, so it was attached to a campaign DLC. But if you didn't want that, in the end, it became a patch. Get where I'm going? That's where they redeemed themselves on Borderlands 1.
Okay.
You can go to 69, no problem. Yes. And, well, with Borderlands 2, there's 2 level cap increases, and none of them are free. The second one is, regardless if you had the season pass or not, you paid for this. And you also paid for all of the effing skins. Those microtransaction fuckers. There's what, 30 of them for all the various characters?
Man, I don't even know. I haven't even unlocked all the skins, but yeah.
No, I'm talking about in terms of the ones you can only get via paying for them.
Yeah.
There are so many. And then they have the Headhunter missions, which they charge less than a campaign DLC, but they charge more than a skin. And you get a few little missions, you get to play around with little things and whatnot. And it feels like macro transactions at that point because they're not micro. They're a little bit bigger, but they're not DLC,
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I had my throat. So that's another.
You gotta have water. You gotta have water when you do podcasts, man.
No shit, sir. But but anyways, so there are people like me out there. That was just a bit much for Borderlands 2. It's just a bit much, and then the shit that's Alien Colonial Marines and the shit that was Duke Nukem Forever. Okay, Gearbox, you're getting a bad record. And then also, mind you, from 2013 to 2015, they didn't have a game come out. Wait, Battleborn came out in 2016, right? Yes. Yeah. So from 2013 to 2016, you don't have a game come out. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, does not count because Gearbox did not make that game. Gearbox gave their engine to 2K Australia to make that game happen faster. They weren't even working on it for a full 2 years. The bulk of the development was in 2014. That game came out in 2014. So, just the stuff I read on that. So, Gearbox, even though they did the promotional stuff with Randy Fitchburg for that game, it doesn't count. They didn't develop it. You know, they might have done little things, like, of course, they developed the engine, but the engine had already existed from Unreal Engine 3, which was heavily modified for their games, and they just passed it on to Australia. 2K Australia. Doesn't count. So for years, the drama unfolding with the whole Sega lawsuit, you know, shit games and whatnot, is just going and going and going and going and going. Eventually, you know, Gearbox is dropped, the lawsuit is dropped, so legally nothing happens. But I mean, just because nothing happened legally doesn't mean your image isn't tarnished or destroyed. Blah blah blah. You know, look at Michael Jackson. He was he's not he was legally not guilty, but I mean, you have to admit the damage was done. There's no denying that.
Definitely.
Nobody can deny that. Okay, so that's the point I'm going here. Now here comes Battleborn. Okay, Battleborn looked cool. I will not deny that. It looked cool. I have not played it. I refuse to pay it, even though it's $10, which is, you know, I just don't want to play it. I'm not into games like that, anyways. And also, I don't care. Battleborn comes out. It's a mech game. The reviewers are tearing it apart. I've watched videos. It's just people wanted Borderlands 3 at that point. We didn't want a Team Fortress clone. We really didn't want that. Except we did with Overwatch. Overwatch came out a month later and decimated Battleborn.
I was about to say, contrary to your point, Overwatch was right there, it was like right on the heels of Battleborn, and it did so much better. So I don't think it's that
there's
we
another point.
want it. I think it's just that we wanted it done better.
Yes, and that's the point I'm making, is if you look at Blizzard and their pedigree, who makes more sense to develop a MOBA? Gearbox or Blizzard?
Blizzard, hands down.
Exactly. No, and that's the point I'm making is, you know, there's several points here. Gearbox, we wanted Borderlands 3. Gearbox's reputation has been tarnished, so we're already hesitant at that. It would take Borderlands 3 to make us come back en masse, maybe. And then your pedigree is not there for this kind of game. And then here comes Blizzard. Blizzard, yes, they have their controversies, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I know. This is their pedigree, though. Hence why Overwatch is like what people are trying to become these days with like Paragon and, you know, Heroes of the Storm and stuff like that. Wait, sorry, Heroes of the Storm is Blizzard. My bad. I thought that was its own thing. My bad. Well, actually, you could technically count it as Blizzard competing with Blizzard.
Yeah, because they need that. They've got a monopoly on MOBAs.
Let's compete with ourselves.
What the hell are they doing? But, we got bored, so we put out another game. We split off into two studios. That's Blizzard A and Blizzard B.
We'll make one first person, the other one top down. Same formula.
But to your point, it's pretty much exactly what the guys over at Guerrilla Games wanted to do with Horizon Zero Dawn, right? They switched over from the Killzone series, a first-person shooter, to an open-world, third-person, pretty much RPG, right?
Yes.
I think what they missed the point on. So I think Battleborn was just released at a bad time.
No shit. We'll put that there.
So, yeah, exactly. What I'm saying is, if they wanted to switch over to another genre like that, they should have been a little more receptive to A, how people wanted MOBAs to be done, and B, when they were releasing it. You can't release it right next to a Blizzard MOBA.
No.
That's just suicide.
And case in point.
So it's pretty much exactly what Titanfall did with Advanced Warfare and Battlefield 1. No one's going to give a shit about Titanfall 2.
Yeah, EA. But see, also what could also be a detractor for Gearbox is, it's a Gearbox game? Fuck this. Is another point, you know? I feel that it's warranted because it is Gearbox. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't. This isn't Gearbox. You know, 5 to 7 years ago, because Dan and I have had this chat a lot about Gearbox. I mean, they're not that high regarded studio anymore. They're down in the mud, and they brought themselves there. You know. So
yeah, I agree, but it looks like they are very aware of that, and they are putting out more content that makes their games a little more accessible. Like not too long ago, I can't remember where it was, but it was one of these tech conferences, kind of like E3 but smaller.
PAX?
Uh, PAX, there you go. At PAX, they put out the
I guess.
tech demo for. It was PAX. You're right. Man, that's gonna bug me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna look it up. Anyway,
Are you talking
they
about
put out a
Borderlands
tech
3?
demo. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually gonna wrap that up with that point, but you can.
All right. If you want to make the point, you can go
No,
ahead.
no, no. Please go. No. I'm just glad we're on the same wavelength. Is what I'm going with.
Ah, yeah. So PAX East, they released a pretty much a tech demo for their textures engine. Well, their entire engine and how they're doing it. So in order to get the comic booky 2D 3D graphics, they've way expanded their engine that cuts down on actual development time. So like where before people like artists had to go in and like sketch it out and make sure that it looks like it's a proper comic book graphics sort of game. Now they can automate it. Yeah, I couldn't find a good way to say that. Now they can automate it to the point where they can put down an overlay that makes it look like it's sketched and then put a texture above it, making it a lot easier to make a big world or worlds.
Yeah, and
That
Border
leads me
Worlds.
to think that Borderlands 3 might be more than one planet.
You're cutting out pretty bad.
Hello.
You're barely audible. You're like sounding like you're on speakerphone.
Can you hear me? Hold on. So we're not recording right now?
I started a new one just because, but who knows? You sound like you're not
Okay.
good.
Is this better?
No, it's horrible.
Okay, hold on.
Ow.
And we're back.
No, we're not.
Am I back?
You're back, but I mean, you don't sound clear. You sound like you're talking to me on speakerphone.
Is this better?
No,
What's wrong with this?
I don't know. You don't sound like you're coming in clear at all.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
Oh, thank you. Didn't think of that one.
That's a trigger.
Oh, definitely.
You can't deny that.
Hold
That
on.
was a trigger.
Hold on. Let me...
Is it low on power? Because I have mine connected at all times for this reason.
No, it's full power. I'm going to leave the party and come right back.
Okay.
It low. Oh. Okay, thanks.
It's all me! I get to run the podcast now. Fuck Marco.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome
You
back
sound
to the Triggercast.
you sound so much better.
I had to leave the party. Come back.
I love it. Is your voice settings in the too low region still?
No, it's the same one. I haven't changed them at all.
Okay. Well, I'm asking as in verify.
Yeah, no, it's verified. It's
Good.
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 It's good.
Okay. Now you're gonna have to continue with what you're talking about before you cut out. About.
So
Go ahead. Yes, if you remember.
what I was saying is I highly suspect that Borderlands 3 will be multiple planets, and I'm really excited about that.
Hopefully, because and it's Unreal Engine 4, by the way. They're modifying Unreal Engine 4, so it's not
Yeah.
their engine. You said it's their engine, just to correct you.
Oh, my bad.
You're fine.
I bet their engine as the ones that they're using, but
No,
yeah,
I get what you're saying. I just wanted to have fun. But
and there's a trigger point that I have not awarded you, which I will do now.
You better, bitch. Anyways,
got another one.
With the, with the power of the consoles they are now, which I mean, whatever. Since we develop for the lowest common denominator in terms of consoles and PC. with the power that are in these guys, and with the PS4 Pro and Scorpio being out, there's so much more they can do. So exploring worlds. I know you haven't played Metroid Prime 3, but Metroid Prime 3, that's what you did. You get in Samus's ship and you just fly around. You don't physically fly. You just tell it where to go and whatnot. But
Yeah, I get it.
It was awesome to go to these different planets, these different scenes. The detractor, though, was instead of focusing on one area and polishing it to hell, you now have like 7. So there's pros and cons.
For sure.
But
Now,
oh, go ahead.
I
No,
think what they put out is just a visual thing, right?
69.
Because they did get so much backlash for Battleborn's, how Battleborn looks and how it plays. So now they're slowly coming back from what that created for them. So putting out the tech demo for Borderlands 3, it's kind of their way of doing damage control,
Well, and also getting hype back into a studio that desperately needs it with all the shit that studio has.
See, that's the thing though. If you watch the tech demo, it's not building hype at all. Like there's a little bit of hype, obviously, because if you're going to put out a Borderlands 3 game, you might as well throw in a joke or two, right? The only thing that I guess they wanted to create hype out of was the fact that they hid the character model's face with a giant shoulder guard, which was like, yeah, okay. Still not hyped. I'm really excited about what you're doing with the engine, but that's about it. And even then, it's only a visual upgrade. So baby steps is what I'm saying.
How can you not say this is also building hype? I mean, they're saying it's Borderlands 3. They hid the character's face. It's starting the hype train.
They haven't really, well, as of this podcast, they haven't really confirmed Borderlands 3.
Okay, it's like the worst kept secret in the world.
Okay, that's fair.
E3 is right around the corner. I mean, if we're doing like little Salt Bay little guys thing here, I mean, come on, they're putting the seasonings on. I mean, they're getting ready.
It's true.
They're getting
anyway.
Anyways, that was my very long and very long-winded point. My points are turning into like debates here.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That makes for good podcast talking.
Agreed. That was pretty long-winded.
Because, the first one...
If you want to go take a break, you go ahead. You hit the pause button. Go pee. Go drink water.
They're no longer attached. They found out we have boners for Metal Gear Solid, but we're kind of, in the middle and kind of split on how to handle Gearbox. They're done. They don't want us anymore.
It's true. Like, these guys don't agree with anything.
Well, one's a cynist and one's an optimist. It's not very hard to figure out which is which, and we're done.
Don't tell me how to feel.
Shut up, you optimist. You Optimus Prime. That's not a Prime.
Oh.
He's a Prime, you're not.
Optimist Prime.
So by highlighting that, it's your turn.
All right. Well, this is the moment that I've been waiting for. And I'm really excited to talk about this.
You've been waiting behind an hour's worth of my talking.
Essentially, that's what it feels like. But I'm hoping... So I generally just want to see your reaction to this.
You can't see my reaction.
Hear your reaction to this. Why are you so picky about this shit?
Because I'm trying to trigger you, and by the inflection in your voice, I triggered you.
I am definitely triggered.
So now we're 17-9.
17-9, jeez. Have you considered not triggering people?
It's the Triggercast. I'm getting into the role.
Oh, yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen. In case you forgot, we're the Triggercast, where we will be triggered, and you will be triggered, and we will all be triggered. But coming back to my point.
I so wanted to yell "fuck bitches" in the middle of that.
Have you heard of Skylar and Plux, Adventure on Clover Island? I'm so glad you said no, because I get to explain this, and
You know what's
get to
funny? I was
explain something
actually
for about
going.
an hour.
You know what's funny though? I was gonna text you, um, earlier today. I'm like, what is this?
What are these speaking points you speak of?
Yeah, because what was it last time? Oh, this is not a part of the. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. Oh, I'm not gonna bring it up because it's an irrelevant thing because it was during our trial and error run through of our podcast. So it's not actually in an episode. When you got all triggered about me not knowing a musician, I'm like, oh hey, the Trigger podcast. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
The
Yeah,
Triggercast.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I didn't know the musician. You're like, the fuck? D12. There you go. I didn't know who D12 was.
That's still not a musician. It's a trap group. But moving right along. Skylar and Plux, Adventure on Clover Island, is a game that's being developed by Grip Digital and Right Nice Games. So Grip Digital is a publisher slash developer that brought us Tower of Guns and the Impossible game. A lot of people have played the Impossible game on mobile. Tower of Guns, I'm a big fan of. It's one of those games that I sit down to play after work, and it's kind of just mindless, shooting at things. It's a fun game. However, Right Nice Games seems to be brand spanking new. They've got not a whole lot on their website. They've got a website that's still under construction. And this game appears to be slated for May 19th of this year. It's a 3D platform. It kind of harkens back to the mascot area that we've talked about a lot recently. I don't know why.
Because
It
we
seems to
grew
be
up when
coming
the
back up.
mascot era was awesome.
That's true. So looking at this game, it looked a lot like, so the main character, I think it's a main character, I'm not really sure, Skylar, looks a lot like Hunter the Cheetah from the Spyro series. I think it's back in Spyro Year of the Dragon that he first appeared. It looks a lot like that if you palette swap him and put him in a suit. And it seems to kind of emulate what Ratchet and Clank had in terms of platforming, Spyro the Dragon in terms of the color, and Jack and Daxter in terms of how the character animations work. So if you can imagine that, that's kind of the game that we're talking about here.
Sounds like an orgy.
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? That's kind of weird because I was talking about animals just now.
Well,
Moving right
no,
along.
Go ahead.
So the YouTube description that I found for this was, I'm reading it right off of the YouTube page. It's quote, explore the island with the freedom-boosting jetpack and uncover its mysterious past with the puzzling time orb. The CRT's turret bots are giving you trouble? Grab their missiles and send them back. Turn their Gatling fire against them and send his minions flying with a powerful magnetic glove. What does that sound like to you?
Portal.
Portal?
I don't
I was
know.
thinking Ratchet and Clank.
I want to just throw you off. Yes, it does.
So, this is the surprise that I had for you. I'm sending you the pictures now. I very half-assedly sent a tweet out to these guys because they seem to be a smaller developer. Pretty much, I'm gonna, here, let me read it for you guys, and maybe you can put it up on screen
I will.
in post.
Wait, hang on.
So,
what am I putting up on screen? The tweets?
yeah, the tweets that I just sent to you. So, I tweeted at Right Nice Games saying, how does one slide into your DMs? I'd love to see what it takes to get an early build of your game to review on our podcast. Very half-assed, very unprofessional. I thought nothing of it. I didn't think anything would come of it. But Skylar and Plux, the Twitter handle, tweeted me back saying, I would recommend just going for it. We're keeping tabs on these requests via DMs and plan to address them later this month.
Holy shit.
I'm not holding my breath. But I could possibly get an early build of this game to review. Right here for you guys listening.
If it's PC, you're screwed.
To what?
If it's on PC, you're screwed.
No, it's PS4.
Oh, never mind. I was trying to have fun with you, but you're like, no. Michael, shut it down.
shut that shit down like the PSN outage of 2011.
Oh my god, that was terrible. Okay, to give some backstory, I was full-time Sony up until the PS4 pissed me off, up until the end of 2014. So February 2015, I transferred back to PC. So there's some backstory on that. That's why it's so funny to Marco. Hey, it was awesome though because we got Infamous 2 for free.
Ooh.
Or was it Infamous?
Interesting.
Sorry, Infamous 1 for free due to the outage. Because Infamous
Oh
2 came
yeah.
out that month. Sorry, had to get it right. So my
I don't
fond
know what I
memories of
got.
that was my fond memory of the outage. I got a free AAA game. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That I'd played 2 years prior.
So I'm hoping that maybe I might get an early build of this game, a demo, if you will, a
The
beta.
the fact that they responded is awesome. And
I
mind
know.
you, I'm not sponsored. I don't know these people. I just found out about them the same time. Well, when you guys listen, it won't be the same time. But while we're recording and whatnot, I just found out because Marco and I use Google Drive Doc to kind of set up the flow of how this is going to go. And for the past what was it, 4 to 6 days, I've been looking at this. Like
Yep.
Skylar and Plux, like I said earlier, I was going to text Marco before we talked about it because I was like, I don't know what this is. And I was like, you know what, hang on. No, I want to go into this not knowing because knowing both of us knowing all of our points kind of takes some of the fun away, you know? Hence why I didn't update my drive doc until an hour before we recorded, just so I wouldn't forget the points I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It cuts out on the conversation a bit if we both know everything that we're talking about.
So that was pretty cool, and
I
I will
think.
definitely get those. So if you're watching, those tweets will definitely be up on the video. If you're listening, um, I'll try and figure out where
Sorry.
we can. I'll put the links to your. Give me the link in Facebook Messenger, so in the description for the video, I can put those in the description. If people don't want to watch the video, they just like me,
Right, right, right.
I drive and listen to the podcast.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I
So
could do that.
we can do that. We'll do that. But yeah, I'm not sponsored. I don't know about Marco. I don't know about
No,
Sony
I'm
though.
not sponsored either. This game looked nice. It reminded me of the first time I played Ratchet and Clank. That same feel and look to it. And if you look at the trailer, it's up on the PlayStation
Look at the trailer,
channel.
right?
Yeah, the trailer.
Okay, because you cut out when you said trailer. I wanted to make sure you said trailer.
Yeah, no, the trailer. If you go watch the trailer, it's on the PlayStation channel. The game doesn't take itself too seriously. It feels whimsical, if you will.
I think that's why the mascot era is having a resurgence right now. Is
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading about this. The industry right now is flooded with too many serious games, like too many
That's
Call of
true.
Duties, too many Battlefronts. You know, I agree.
Battlefields.
Battlefield, Battlefront. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but I mean, not to cut you off. It was just I'm loving this. I'm back to just whimsical gaming. I don't want to sit down and be like like when we're playing Sniper Elite 3. I don't consider that a serious game. I don't. I'm sorry. It's just too whimsical to me, even though it's supposed to be
Yeah.
serious.
Well, it's really hard to do a video game about Nazis without being, you know, without making it funny.
Well, it doesn't help
Because
when we can shoot their testicles off.
yeah, it's like, why do you want to put that in a game? If you want to be taken seriously, don't do that.
Exactly.
Don't allow me to shoot the testicles off of Nazis, because that's all I'm going to be doing if you let me. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm not holding my breath again, but if it happens, that'll be great, and I will put the video up on my channel.
Yes, that would be awesome. And if that does happen, I will retroactively put a link in the description of that video on Marco's
Sounds good to
channel.
me. Excellent.
Excellent. Okay, so
I do believe it's your turn,
yes, but
since we're doing this now.
my question though is, do we have enough time to get into this point? Because this is going to be a long one, just like my other two. If not, I can bring something else up.
Let's see. What do we got?
It's going to take about 30 minutes. Because
See, yeah, that's my problem. I really want to talk about this, but I don't know if we can jam pack it into this podcast.
that's another reason why I'm hesitant to bring it up.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, we'll leave it as a main topic for next podcast.
Okay. Then I'll go into the backup because this will take what 15 minutes at most. Um.
Cool.
Okay, so we're gonna save we're gonna save. I'm not even gonna mention it by name. I'm not mentioning anything about it. We just have a point we're gonna bring up first thing with Marco and I on the next podcast with Marco, because the next one is supposed to still be at this point Dan and I. So podcast number 4 should be Marco and I, and I'll bring this up with Marco.
All
But
right,
anyways,
sounds good.
to the backup one. So there's this channel on YouTube. No, I'm not intentionally trying to shout the guy out. He doesn't know me. I don't know him, but he's a cool dude. I like his videos. I've sent you a few. I've sent my friends a few. It's Review Tech USA. He's a gamer. He's really cool. He did a video a couple hours ago, and I watched it before, and I sent it to you. So I don't know if you watched it. He titled it "Konami may be looking to make a comeback, comma, but will it work?" Question mark. And about it is there's a 2-page spread in a Japanese magazine about with Konami characters, and he's curious because he was talking about how in the 80s and 90s, and I agree with him, and even early 2000s, and I totally agree with this. Konami used to be Konami used to be known
Synonymous?
synonymous. Thank you. Konami used to be synonymous. I don't know why I wanted to say synonym. I don't know why I wanted to say synonymous, but I couldn't. I don't know why. They used to be synonymous with quality. You saw Konami, you're like, oh, I know I'm getting a good game, Castlevania and whatnot. Or even Capcom, because I totally agree, because the Mega Man games of old, holy crap, the quality, they're great. You knew you were getting your money's worth out of these games. They're challenging, they're hard, and they're complete, they're fun. And nowadays, both companies, ironically, are known for, well, they suck. And the whole huge fallout with Hideo Kojima and Konami could not be any more publicized. If you don't know what happened there, what rock have you been living under? You call yourself a gamer? Really? This is like the messiest divorce.
Trigger. It's Trigger. You can't call our fans out like that. Our fans. Our listeners. I doubt anybody here is a
Whoa,
fan.
hold up. That's a trigger right there.
In.
Our fans are... You call our listeners they're not fans? That's a trigger for you.
I take it back.
They can be our listeners and our fans. How dare you? How dare you?
I can see that you're very outraged, sir. I sincerely apologized.
Well, I'm just trying to be the voice of someone who's triggered, trying.
Of course.
But anyway, so we so everybody that is aware I can give some leeway here. I mean, if you're not like big on this, if you're not a fan of Metal Gear Solid, you might not be aware of this, but I mean, this was huge in 2014 to 15, and it's still not as huge, but it's still well known. So, but I mean, if you're in 2015, you're a gamer, chances are you were very aware of this breakup. And
oh yeah.
But so Konami, and you know how Konami at that point too was transitioning to free to play on phones because they're cheaper, less development time, higher chance of profitability. Because I mean, well, think about it. On a mobile game, your budget can be $5,000, and who knows? Pay to win. You can make a frick ton of money. Look at King. Candy Crush. Look at Rovio for Angry Bird.
Oh, yeah.
billion-dollar games. Or even the guy who made Flappy Bird, who had to take it down because of all the problems because of people being so into that game.
I don't think that was it, but okay. I'll let you go with that one.
Well, so into it in terms of I'm gonna freaking kill you because you beat my score type of into it.
True. Yeah.
I was trying to skirt around that, but if you want to bring up murder, fine, we'll bring up murder.
Well,
the Murder Cast. Woo!
We're gonna have like 40 different names for this podcast by the end of this.
Fun fact, guys, we were originally known as the Rambler Cast.
Yeah, that was in the works. That was in the talks.
But I like the Triggercast more because it protects us in a way, because it's like you went into listening or viewing, depending on how you prefer this, a show called the Triggercast. If you leave angry and inform YouTube, and send them on us. Well, the title was the Triggercast.
Yeah, the warning's right on the label.
Yeah.
Or the label's
literally.
right on the warning.
Yeah.
We covered the warning with the label. Now nobody knows that this is the Triggercast.
That was great. But yeah, I just felt like bringing that up about Konami because it's like, nowadays it's like, I see a Konami game and I'm like avoiding it like the plague, like, turning my fingers into a cross, like, like, no.
See, this is my thing. I would love to see Konami come back because I know for a fact that they have it in them to make a good game and a good, compelling game too.
As long
But
as it's not Metal Gear Rising.
Oh god. You know what? Okay.
Or
And
Metal
I know
Gear
I'm going to be
Survive.
put on. I was about to say, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am willing to excuse Metal Gear Rising because of Metal Gear Survive.
But Survive has to come out.
Go ahead.
If Survive doesn't come out, Rising is still shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they cancel Survive, then Rising is still a piece of crap. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. But isn't there like internal rumblings? Not internal rumblings. I don't know why I said that. I might be hungry. That's where the internal rumblings are coming from. So there is internal rumblings. I am hungry.
There's internal rumblings on this side too. Don't worry.
But weren't they trying to at one point make a sequel to Metal Gear Rising?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I remember this, but it was only rumors, and I think. Don't quote me on this, but I think some concept art was leaked at some point, and everybody's like, "No, don't do it. Just let it die," and they left it alone. Was it because of the fan outrage? I don't know. Does outrage culture really work? Probably not. You heard it here first.
Well, unless they heard it somewhere else.
In which case, weird.
They heard it while we were recording it, even though they weren't in the room with us. Well, in one of our rooms because you're in Canada and I'm in. If they were in the room with us at the same time, like I'm in Florida and you're in Canada, that's eerie and creepy.
There's only one way to do that. It's Portal.
The portals don't go that
right?
far. Like,
well, how do you know?
You would have to shoot my wall or wherever, then physically take the portal gun across, nations. Which is customs gonna let us do this. It is a weapon.
Good point.
So, in order for you to do that, you'd have to take the gun from my location, your location, my location, vice versa, whichever you prefer. Someone has to be first, someone has to be last. Whatever. Don't want any trigger.
Why can't we all be first?
Well, I mean,
we all get a participation ribbon.
Fuck that nonsense. That is why we're in the mess we're in right now. Participation fucking shit. No, there are winners and losers. I don't care if you participated. If you lost, you lost. Take it with stride and become better. Get good.
Damn. Daniel?
What? I'm Manuel. Daniel's not here.
Oh, never mind. That was a meme reference. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Triggercast. But if you recognize that meme reference, go ahead and put it in the comments. I will show you much love. And by love, I mean I'll probably respond to you.
Marco, love you long time.
Please tell me you're going to cut the burp out.
I don't know. I'm very tempted to leave it in.
Oh.
No, because if I cut the burp, people are like, you cut the burp, but not that? Oh! Something point. I wanted to bring up before we get off. If I can just get my gut to do this. Okay. I can't. I had to actually stand up. Being an American fat ass is great. So the Amazon had a deal. It was a really good deal if you're a fan of the Avatar series. So they had The Legend of Korra, the complete series on Blu-ray, 2 weeks ago for $30, but it became on back order almost immediately because, well, think about it. It's a 4-season show for $30 on Blu-ray. You do the math. It's a steal if you're a fan of the show. And I've only seen the first 2 seasons, but the 3rd and 4th seasons weren't available 2 years ago. and they are now, but I never got around to watching them. Like, and I also have the mentality for movies and TV shows. I like physical copies because internet can go out for no reason. I mean, I'll
It's
make
true.
do with Netflix and whatnot, but there's always those rainy days. And I was like, for $30, the complete series. I was like, I have to jump on this. So I did.
Goddamn those rainy days.
Yes, because I live in Florida. Those rainy days do come, and boy, oh
Yeah, I
boy,
don't
do
know
they
why they
kill
call
the
it the
internet.
Sunshine State.
I don't know either.
I don't know why it's raining there 90% of the time, but it's sunny, and I guess that's what people remember.
I was
Proving
driving,
once and for all that optimism will prevail.
unless you live in the rainy state, which kills your optimism most of the time because, well, it's the rainy fucking state, not the sunny state, not the sunshine state.
I see.
What's very funny is my
What?
state's our fruit is orange. We're the orange state. We're known for oranges, orange juice. I go to the supermarket. It's California oranges, not Florida oranges.
I remember seeing that too. I remember I don't know, for the few people on my Facebook that actually listen to this, I think if you creep my albums, if you go all the way back, there's a picture of avocados at Walmart labeled Florida avocados, and there's a tiny little sub-label that says grown in Mexico.
What?
I shit you not, it's there.
I am going to
Maybe.
creep and stalk the living hell out of your profile to find that, and if I find it, it will be in this podcast in terms of viewing.
Oh, you already do it.
I
This is
haven't.
just giving you an excuse.
I have been wanting to creep your profile though, because I remember when I had the LG Spectrum 2, and I sent you the photo on Facebook. I took a photo of an owl from National Geographic, and I gave it the bandana, eye patch, and a cigarette like Solid Snake.
Right.
I want to find that photo because I don't remember where it is. I don't think I have it, but I know I sent it to you on Facebook. So I was already planning on
Yeah.
creeping your profile anyways. So now I just have another reason to do it.
See? Knew it.
Stalker.
Oh, also, as of an hour ago, remember how at the beginning of this podcast I said that I had reached out to that artist that was involved with Drawn to Death?
This podcast started almost 2 hours ago.
Yeah, exactly. Just throwing that out there. So the artist actually messaged me back and said, so I asked them if they were okay with us posting a link on the podcast description to this very page,
Oh,
where you can see the Drawn to Death characters. And
I
they
love the
said,
shark.
sure, buddy. Right? So awesome. Anyway, they said, sure, buddy, I'd really appreciate that. Are you guys streaming Drawn to Death since it's coming out tomorrow? And damn, that is a good question. I think, well, I can't do it tomorrow, but definitely Wednesday. I can download Drawn to Death and stream it on Wednesday. For those of you listening to this, I guess it's going up on Wednesday. So if you're listening to this, I'm probably going to have a post about streaming Drawn to Death on my Facebook. If not, hit me up on Twitter. Ask us on AskFM.
And there will definitely be
Triggercast.
there will definitely be links in the description of this video as well once those videos become available if you listen to the podcast after the fact.
Indeed.
So,
And
but I think that's cool.
so,
the developer is reaching, like, you and the developer having a chat. It's pretty cool.
yeah, I had no idea. Well, this is just, it's not just an artist. They put together a lot of these characters themselves, and it's very evident in their style. But if you guys have time, if you like creeping artists on DeviantArt, go ahead, go down to the description, click on the link, and check out the character roster that dyemelikeasunset put out.
Hey,
So,
let these
shout out to dyemelikeasunset.
Yeah, let these guys know, the guys, that the podcast will be up on Wednesday, so if they want to listen to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That way they know when to expect this podcast drop, because they might be thinking, oh, it's dropping today. No, it's not. It's dropping in a few days. I need time.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna let them know.
Okay.
But anyway.
Ooh, I got my work cut out. This is so cool.
Okay.
We're 2 episodes in,
I know,
and we
I'm so
already
excited.
have
It's awesome.
developer chats. This is awesome.
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't expect them to tweet me back like that. But now I'm super excited. Can't wait to do another one.
This is awesome. Like, I'm sorry, I can't get over the shark. The shark is awesome. The shark is a
The
woman.
shark is awesome. Is it?
Yeah,
It is. The shark is a woman.
That's awesome. Like, I'm not even looking at the link. I'm just looking at the photos to the link. Since Facebook shows you.
Look at the thumbnail, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So, because I've watched so many of these trailers, Demon Cyborg guy is my favorite so far. Although I'm kind of partial to the cyborg chick. Ah, damn it! I said chick. Ah, damn it! I said it again.
Uh-huh. Nope. You only get one. You're not artificially inflating your points.
How am I ever supposed to catch up to you then?
Well, not by cheats and trickery like Daniel does for his YouTube account.
Okay. I'm not on that level.
You're trying. You're trying, oh, Padawan.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Triggercast, where we will be triggered, you will be
Don't
triggered,
forget
we
to
will
say
all
bye.
be triggered. Yeah. That's kind of what this was.
I wanted to intentionally do that. I know exactly what you're doing, but I wanted to intentionally do that.
Well, last time we just cut it off. We were like,
I know.
sorry guys, we're having phone issues. We're leaving now. That was it. There's no closure there.
Yeah, I know. It's an editing problem. I wanted to just get it on my mic and say bye, but it would, like, it would sound so like, when Handsome Jack is talking in, what's that city he's making in 2? I don't remember the name. Whatever the city's name is, it'll probably come to me after we're done doing the podcast.
Yeah, same here.
You know how
Sanctuary?
No, it's not Sanctuary. That's the enemy stronghold to him. No, the city he's making on Pandora for people to live in.
Oh, right.
I can't remember the name.
Damn it.
And
I will look it up as fast as I can.
But anyways,
you wrap this up. There's
him talking and whatnot. There's like pre-recorded lines, and then you can easily hear, the differences in the lines. Like when there's just filler. Like I am talking hello, different speech levels. Anyways.
Opportunity.
There you go. But yes.
Opportunity, the first city on Pandora. Or, sorry, Hyperion. Wow. Fuck that one up. So many ways.
I think we have to end this because we're starting to fuck it up. And we've been recording really long.
I think so, too. There's also some internal grumblings over here on my side.
Well, if you faff away, the internal grumblings will go away.
I had no idea. I might try that out. Probably not. I'm sorry, people. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been
the podcast.
The Triggercast. We agreed on this.
No, this was me intentionally fucking you up because you're actually doing it well this time. Remember when you tried introducing me before when we were practicing and you just could not get it down?
I will deny that until the end of this podcast. I will deny that until probably the day I die. I have no idea what you're talking about. I never screwed up on the outro.
Stand by for inserted audio from the podcast I'm holding on to.
Damn it.
No, but please, for all seriousness, it's 9:30. I gotta go to bed.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for the third time, thank you for joining us on the Triggercast. And by the third time, I mean the second time. See, I had it! Now I'm screwing it up.
Yes, it worked!
Thank you for joining us for the second time on the Triggercast, where we will be triggered, and you will be triggered. We will all be triggered.
And you're actually wrong. It's the fourth time because we had 2 recorded before the third one.
Those never happened. So make sure to leave your triggering comment down below. If you think we did an okay job, not even a good job, not even a decent job, just an okay job, make sure to subscribe. And if gaming isn't your speed, but you know a gamer, go ahead and share. And I guess like if you feel like it.
Yes, please, because Marco is so into that like and subscribe stuff. Because he is Sony. He's trying to get Sony to notice him so he can get sponsored.
That would be fantastic.
See? You heard it here, folks. Marco wants to be sponsored by the devil.
I'm selling out. I'm selling out to PlayStation.
Hey, it's better than Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't care about anybody. They cancel all of their first parties, and they still treat third party and indies like shit.
Don't get into another debate now.
No, I'm intentionally leaving fodder for people in the comments. You know, it's called bait and switch because the podcast is over.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
You don't have to
We
do
hope
it
to see
again.
you on the
I'm
third
just going to
trip.
use the. I'm just talking over you.
Damn it!
Oh, now I get your message. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching the Triggercast. I am Manuel. That was Marco. I am Forgetful Hitman on
We
YouTube. He
don't
is
use
Reaperable.
real names.
But those are our names. I use our names in the
Yeah.
description. Have you not read the
I know.
description for the other one?
No, I read the description. I read the
Really?
description. Thank
You
you.
act like you haven't.
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
This is like the Dark Knight. We just can't end. We're just going and going and going.